So for my micro lesson today, what I want to discuss is some of the external data importing and exporting. And a very simple one we're going to start with is I'm going to start with external data. So at the very top, you've got your different menus, right? One of which is external data. If I want to export something, I just choose what I'm going to export it to. I can export it to an Excel, text file, XML, PDF. Now you'll notice I can do, let's say for instance, PDF. Okay, I want to notice it automatically comes up with the budget and the PDF because that's the one I've chosen. So if I come along, I'm going to put this on my desktop and I'm just going to call it, budget, and I'm going to publish it. So now on my desktop, I now have a PDF document with the information in it. Now if I want to do something different, I could save the export step, so I could then activate with that or with a macro. I'm going to do the instructor name query that looks like that, and then I could just, after I pull it up, I can just do a PDF instructor number query. I'm going to choose desktop and then publish, and now I have a PDF. And the good thing about that is it makes it easier to email. It's definitely a one-way communication. Nobody's going to add to it. And obviously, and you could also save it. So if I want to save my export steps, export instructor num query. So what it'll do is, if I save my export, I should have a way to then pull up that export through the use of a macro, or I could pull that up just for saved exports. Here's my export query, and the joy of actually putting this together is once you go through the steps to actually creating the export methods, then I would just create, run, so then I could just run these things. I don't have to go through all the trouble of where it's at. It'll go and try to replace the old file. So there's always some sort of updating going on where those exporting of reports are concerned. Plus, if you have a month-end procedure, there they all are. So you can export out of the report, you can export out of your table. So if I want to export to Excel instead, and I want to do my budget, I can export my Excel, and it says file name, users, document, budget, Excel workbook. I can do export data with formatting and layout. Okay, and I'm going to close that. And then now, if I look on my desktop here, I don't know where I put it. Oh, boo! Oh, here it is. So now, if I look on my desktop, I have my Excel document that matches the table that was in my database. And now I can let somebody have it that doesn't have access to the database and say, okay, update all this information. They can update the information. And then what you can do is you can import it. So let's say, for instance, I did 2019 and 8,000. Right? So I'm going in and I'm entering in some random stuff. 21. So if someone comes along and they've updated the data, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go the opposite direction, right? So I'm going to save this in my Excel spreadsheet. Now notice this is what it looks like. This is what I've added. Should be 2021. And this is what I've added inside that table. So now I go to the opposite end of that, and make sure to save my Excel document. Go on the opposite end of that, and I've got my exports. Now we're going to go to imports, and I'm going to choose new data source from file, and I'm going to choose Excel document, right? It says specify the source. So the source is going to be on my desktop. It's going to be called sample because that's what I called. So it says import the source data into a new table. Append a copy of the records to the table. So I'm going to append it to the budget. So it's going to add a few things twice because it's already in there. I could also do things like import into a new table and then delete the old table and put in the new table, however you want to go about doing it. But I'm going to append the copy. So the table which you're trying to append is currently, okay, yes. So it should have, there we go. Now it's opening up. First row contains column headings, which is school year and budget. Next. And then import to table budget. And then I would push finish. And I'm going to close that. So now if I go into my budget table, I've got some duplicates. but it also included the items that I've added on. And that would work with, if I click new data source, I can choose from another database, right? I can do from online services, from other resources. There's lots of different options where this is concerned. But that gives you a very, very basic overview of kind of how to export data. I can email stuff going out. I can import. And the overall idea is that if somebody doesn't have access to the database, or you don't want them to have access to the database, this allows you to get information in and get information out to who you need. The only problem is you'll notice the very first thing that occurred when I imported that information that someone updated is, aka I did, there are duplicates. So now as soon as you get data, as soon as you outsource individuals inputting your data, now you've got to deal with the fact that data might be wrong. Data might be off. So you've got to have some sort of filter in place to make sure that your data is checked coming in. Otherwise, you're going to import whatever errors they have. Thank you very much. Continue to participate in the discussion, get that information out there, and I will see you during the week. Thank you.